pizza here for lunch. Now I want to show you when you have an expired product like this. So this is pizza crust mix, and it expired on 12/20/22. The yeast in this is probably not good anymore, but everything else is fine. Do not use old yeast because it won't work. Old yeast that's kept like this in a box will not work, but you can freeze yeast and you can put it in the refrigerator to freeze it. You just put it in the freezer and it will last you many years. This yeast here is over 3 years old, and I get a little bit out of the freezer, what I'm going to use for the next couple months. So do not store your yeast at room temperature. Always put it in the refrigerator, or better yet, freeze it. But if I was to use this yeast, most likely this yeast would not work, and then it would be a failed product. So we're gonna go ahead and add this, and I'm gonna make pizza today, and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So basically, it's what's on the box. Now, I do make my own pizza mix in a jar. I got this a long time ago because I did a video on it back at Christmas time, and I did a video on how you can make your own pizza mix versus buying one. I paid 99 cents for this, but I can make my own just about as cheap, and it's really fresh. It calls for the water and the olive oil, and I'm going to be using my herb infused olive oil that I got for 99 cents, and I'm going to use the bread machine. You're going to be starting to see a lot of bread machine videos because the bread machine saves me a lot of time. While buying a bread machine in the store is really expensive, you can pretty much get them at almost any week, at any time, at a yard sale or at a thrift store. Bread machines are really easy to find used, and when you buy them used, you're paying probably $5, $6, or $7. I got mine for $3, and I got that a couple years ago. The olive oil had herbs in it, which makes it really, really nice. So we're gonna have herbs on our pizza crust. So it just takes a little time to stretch the dough out. It's all done. All right, I'm gonna eat some lunch with hubby, and then I'll meet you out in the garden. All right, I have to water the greenhouse real quick, and then we'll go down to the garden and I'll finish finally fertilizing all them tomatoes. I'm finally getting this done. I gotta finish feeding these, and then I can mark that off my list. Sure feels good to get your stuff done, I tell you. Boy, oh boy, today was one of those days. Seems like I was taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Ever have days like that? Well, you work, but you feel like you're not getting anything done. That's how I feel today. But at the end of the day, like I tell my hubby, it always seems to get done. All right, so I have to work on those strawberries. I don't have any netting. I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna get some netting, and then this will be the next day for all of you. But for me, I'm turning the camera off and I'm saying goodbye to all of you. We really need rain. We had so much rain and now we don't have any. And everything is just so dry. It really is very, very dry. But I got this finished and that feels good. So I just have to put netting on the strawberries because they are starting to turn red. And if I don't do that, the birds will eat them. So I just have to really do that yet in the garden, and then I'm good for a little while. Gardening work goes in spurts. It seems like you can go a couple days without having to do any work, and then all of a sudden you come out to the garden and it's like a whole day of work. Ever have experienced that? You think you're just gonna go out to the garden just to look at it, and then you end up spending a full day working. But I'm really pleased how it looks. I can't praise enough the shavings, because the shavings just really help it, because we have such a dry time right now. But with the shavings, it's really keeping the plants from getting all of that shock of being so dry. So when I turn my camera back on, we're going to be working on the strawberries. It's important that I put the netting on because they're starting to turn red. They're pink, but that quick, the birds will eat them. And there is one of the tea towels, number 1. As you can see how beautiful it got. Very subtle look to it. I wanted the old-fashioned look, so I don't have a bright ink. It is a very all-natural looking ink. This one turned out perfect too. And there you go, everyone.